Here's the class project, also known as just a mock-up of the elbow here with a branch. This printout here was designed for 11 by 17 piece of paper, but I didn't have one, so I just got the smaller one here. So this will still work. I got the dimensions and everything there, and it'll be the same as what you have here. So it is 4-piece. It is 240, so it's pretty big. You're going to have to use your extension here for your dividers. So you can get your radius here. So I made it small enough that you can use this. You don't have to tape your pencil onto another set of dividers. And this is where having another set of dividers is going to help, so you're not having to take this one apart all the time. I've done a lot of drawing already, just to speed things up, make everything just a little bit quicker and easier. The 12-inch ruler here, the 300 centimeter, it's almost a little small. It goes to 240, but we're going to need to go all the way to 314, so either you get a bigger one or you're going to have to step off for this one. So that's the only thing with that. Some of these squares here are a little bit small just for the pattern. You're just going to have to step up with that as well. And also your T-square. So with this piece of paper here, that's a fairly big piece of paper. I was just a little bit short, so I just went to the end of this T-square and I kept it in over here. Otherwise, I do like to use my edge of my paper so I don't have to cut out an extra cut. That's basically it with that. Okay, so this is a pretty simple layout for this. Let's go ahead and have a look at our pattern here. And you don't need to draw out the whole elbow. All you need is the pattern angle. Okay, really kind of as simple as that. So this here is 90 degrees, 4-piece. So 90 divided by the number of pieces times 2 minus 2. So 1, 2, 3, 4 times 2 is 8, minus 2 is 6. So 90 divided by 6, that's 15 degrees for each one, okay, on the way up. So real simple as that for the degrees. Obviously this is a 45, so 15, 30, 45 right in the center, right? You can see that that's a 45. Split that into 3. This is a pattern angle, and then the full gore here would be 2 of the 15s. So 2 of these smaller ones right here. Okay. So let's go double check here. With this over here, the easiest thing to do would probably just use your protractor here, go to 15. Or we can just do some quick trigonometry here as well. Trigonometry here, what we've just done is the 240 with the 15. So 15 tangent times 240 is 64. So you get a height of 64 here. We can do this for our center as well. 15 tangent times the 190, which is center, we get a 51. So that's what's going on here. And the height of our pattern times this by 6 equals 306. So our pattern here is 306. And then a stretch out this way is the 100. Okay, so go back, double check, make sure you've done everything correctly. You got 100, you got 240, you're at 15, double check your heights are correct, 51, and then you're good to go to start making your pattern. For this one, this is all you need to draw, just this little pattern angle here. You have to be high enough up for the baseline here to do the half circle. So I just went up 60. So this is 50 for the radius because it's a 100. So I just got a 10 millimeters here. And I just drew that in 50 millimeters just to come in a little bit. Like I said before, I probably would have utilized the edge of this paper here, but that's pretty far over as well. No big deal just to cut that out, so I just kind of went with that. So for this one here, we're coming over and we're 100 times pi, so 314. So I went 300 plus the 14 there, also split in half, 157. So you can just do a center here, you can split that in half again, and then into thirds. Also 314 divided by the 12 is 26, so you can just go 26, 52, 78, so on and so forth all the way over. So you can do it that way as well, and that'll work just fine. Nothing wrong with that. The 306 coming up here, again just with that 51. And again we have the 4-piece here, so we got a miter line. This is the miter, the tangent, this is our big pattern. Miter, tangent, miter, and then there's the end there. Okay, the easiest way to go up here is the 306, cut it in half, 153, and then just divide that into thirds. So you can just go 51, 102, and then you get your up to your miter line. So pretty easy that way to divide that out. Make yourself a grid here, and then you're ready to start populating this curved line. So all the dimensions, I'm just going to number this 1, 2, 3, 4, all the way to 7. And just remember, your dimensions come off this baseline up to this sloping side. Okay, don't take all the way down to the bottom here. This is just to make these element lines on here. So number 1 from the baseline up to this cut here. And I started on this tangent line. So number 1 on this side, here on this side. And then all the way up to the top, this number 1 will work stepping down from the top. So number 2 over here, take that off the 2 right here. Come over, you got the 2 there, 2 there, 2 there, 2 there. And then you're up here, this will be the 2, the same as down below. I didn't number the top, but it's the same. So 2, 2, so on and so forth all the way through. 3, 3, 4 is right on the grid pattern. And as you get to the 5, it should start getting bigger than 4 all the way down to 7. 7 will be up top, which will be right there. Okay, pretty straightforward. It shouldn't really take you a long time here. The hardest part about this is measuring, making sure it's accurate, making sure your lines are accurate. And this is a measuring exercise, really is what this is. We got just a tiny little bit of math here with pattern angles, a little bit of layout, stretch out one way and the other way. And that's really about it. So pretty quick, really. And then we'll cut this one out, wrap it up, and we'll make a mock-up of it so it's 90 degrees. Now we're going to make a branch on here as well. So we got a 60 diameter round branch here, and it's off 60 from the very top. Now real simple to do. You don't need to draw this side profile or anything. We basically front. We just basically need the side looking at it. So let's have a look here. So the camera is a little bigger than the piece of paper, or smaller than the piece of paper, so I'm just going to have to move this down. Okay, so you can see what I've done over here. I've actually probably could have drawn this a little bit lower. What I did is I just came off the center line here, off the center of this pattern. I just went with that. Realistically, I did not need to draw the whole full view of this. I could have just done a half a view. This would have been just fine. Okay, because this half is the same as this half over here. So let's minimize the drawing. So you could have minimized this. We do have to make a full pattern though. So, and again, like I said, I probably could have nested this down below here a little bit more, but that's all right. It fits on here. A lot of times too, like I'd like to utilize the edge of the paper, but I couldn't because I got to do the element lines off of here. So let's make sure you got the 100 here for the diameter. Your 60 here for the diameter of this, and your 60 off the top. Okay, 60 times pi is 188, and I actually just found the sloping line method was a little bit easier here to do this one because 240. 12 times 20 is 240, so every 20 drew a line. I've all done this before, worked out well. Divide that into 12. You got a center line. And then real super easy. All you have to do is the 4. And we're going to put the seam on the shortest side. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And then just 1, 2, 3, 4, 4, 3, 2, 1. And it's the same on the other side. So 2, 3, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, so really just quadrants on this one, making a full pattern. So that's why we put the seam there. It's always on the shortest side. And then from there, like I said, you're just bringing over. So you got number 3 here, so hit the 3, the 3, the 3, and the 3. So you got 4 spots. Okay, 4, there's only 2 spots, and then the 1, you've got the 3 ones up there. Okay, real easy there. Snake that in, do a good job. The 188, the stretch out, did I mention that? Yes, I did. So 60 times pi, 188, real straightforward there. and then we'll go ahead and we'll put this onto this elbow here. If you want, you can leave an extra inch just for when you go wrap this up, it overlaps for when you're taping it together. So doesn't really matter, but same with this. If you wanted to just leave a little tab when you cut it and you wrap it and it's just sometimes easier to tape. So I think I covered everything there. Just with this project here, should fit on this big brown piece of paper here, and it's just coming off these dimensions here. So it really doesn't take a long time to do. Let's go ahead and we'll cut this out and we'll tape it up. I'm not going to leave a tab on, I'm just going to cut mine right off. Almost could have lined this one right up with the other one. Mine was just a couple mils off, so I'm just going to move over there and get this one here as well on the same cut. Again, I'm not going to leave a tab. I'll just butt them together and be just fine. Like I said, these don't take a long time, and the shop projects out in the shop, when we have a material thickness, what you'll do is you might have to make 2 of these. One for the flat, so this pattern here would be laid out so you'd be the middle of the plate, so all your layout you'd have to be the middle of the plate. So the mean, as they call it, the mean axis. And then you might have to make another one of these, or even just the one pattern of a wrap on the outside, just to have 2 patterns, because obviously one's going to be longer than the other one. It's unfortunate making 2 patterns. Sometimes that's what you gotta do. If this was sheet metal and super thin, then a lot of times you don't have to worry about that. With 1/16 material or less, it's generally not much of an issue. It's generally within a 1/16, but as soon as you get up to 1/8, 3/16, it grows a lot significantly. So you're going to be a 1/4 inch out, or 3/8 or more, especially as you get to the thicker quarter plates and stuff. Or a lot of times what they'll do is they'll just get their stretch out pattern here, roll it up, and then just wrap something around it thereafter. Or what they could do is kind of grid out some quarter lines, do some basic measurements, roll your cylinders, and then just use a batten and put the curve line on after as well. A couple different ways to do it. Yeah, it'd be great if you can stick it into a bandsaw and cut it like a piece of pipe, but a lot of times when you got a cylinder that's 2 feet, 3 feet, 4 feet, it's not going to fit in the bandsaw, and a lot of times it'll just crush it, so you don't always get that option just to stick something in the bandsaw. And same with the cutting, how you're going to cut this. You know, as it's a cylinder, you can use a torch, a plasma. You know, you're going to stitch cut it. You know, you're going to leave an inch between your pieces, so you can cut one line then the other line, because it is pretty hard to share the same line with a torch, because if you muck up a little bit on the torch and cut into your other piece, then you've got a nick on your piece there, and then it's going to create for a hole. Cut this one first for fitting and welding and stuff like that. So. The trick on this is to just pull it on the edge of a table, just to curl it, just like a ribbon. Just like that, and you get a curl. So just use the edge of the table and just pull it through, and you can kind of just make it round, and then you can just round that over and try to pre-bend the ends here a little bit, just so you can get try to get it round. Obviously then it's going to get nicer together. Again, just pull that on your table. The more times you do that, the more that's going to curl up. Sometimes over-rolling something is a little better, and it comes out a little rounder. And it doesn't come up to a peak. You cannot put these through the plate rolls in separate sections like this, because the narrowest and thickness parts of the material will overroll and underroll as it's going through the machine. Rip off lots of bits of little tape here, and then if we tape the inside, it'll look a lot cleaner. Go ahead and put those together. Got a piece of tape in there. You can wrap the edge or not. Slightly off there. Okay, I got the seam here and the seam over here. My seams are not staggered. Make sure it's square. We're actually just a little bit over by the looks of it. Yeah, could just use a little refining. It is paper, so it's got a little bit of flex to it. Let's have a quick look at the drawing. And let's put this right on center here. So it doesn't say which seam to do here. So we've actually got a seam here. So there's no seam here. We got a seam, no seam, and a seam here. So it flips 180 every time around. And then this one here, well, I got my name and everything there. Maybe I'll use the other side here just so I don't lose my identification there. And this I'm just going to put right on center. So center with this one here. So a little bit difficult to get this one on, but we'll try our best. Just fold this back here like this and try to get that on center the best we can. And just fold that back. And we'll get two more on there. So one thing we could have done, I guess, on the way through here is when we're building it, could check for 45, or we can do another reference check along the way as well. So as you're building, and like with most things, it grows along the way. So that's always the hard part about building, is when the material decides to grow. Okay, so center for this. Just make sure, let's start on center here. Let's put that on center, this on center. Go ahead, we'll just tape this on. This will be a bit of the hard part here. Obviously not exactly like working with metal. So you kind of get the idea here. Things fit on center. How important it is to have your center lines and center lines. So important. Trying to put those on later or after is so difficult. Okay, so there's your 90-degree branch here, just coming off. Well, it'd almost be a cylinder, but now it's coming off an elbow. It's just coming straight back, so it's not going straight into it this way. It is coming off like this. Again, just making sure everything is, put your name, your date, what it is, mock-up class project, 90-degree 4-piece 90-degree elbow. Same with this over here, 60 mil branch on elbow, center lines, quarter marks are all matched. Everything's a match here, and there you go. That is that project. Okay, and that gets you ready for the shop, so you can obviously you can see how quickly that takes. Really doesn't take long, 45 minutes kind of thing, from start to finish, to make a bunch of patterns and stuff like that. So it really doesn't take a long time, maybe half an hour. So okay, that's it. Perfect. Thank you.